ransom. All right, so that just reinforces the belief that kidnapping and banditry and what have you have all become monetized. All right, that's now become a matter of you having syndicates, having some kind of structures that just help to sustain this menace. But I'm sure it is a battle Nigeria is setting to win, all right? But we will continue to have conversations around security of lives and property in not just Abuja, but across this country where Nigerians live. But basically, we want to look at insecurity this morning as well from the standpoint of mining in this country. You recall that mining has been practiced in Nigeria, has been part of Nigeria's economy for several decades, all right? However, the challenge has been that in recent times, we now hear about illegal mining, all right, which means mining ideally is a legal enterprise, but how did the venture become illegal on some level in some segments? All right, look at what we've seen from Zamfara in the last couple of years, how that even the boundary there is believed to be fueled for the most part by illegal miners and their co-travelers. Then you want to also take a look at the Bodija incident, I mean the blast that happened there. And we realized that illegal mining is a big element in that narrative, to the point that even the governor came out and said, look, we've looked at the documentation of most of these mining companies. Several of them are foreign companies, we don't even know where they're coming from, and things like that. So you have aliens, so to speak. You have people off the radar in this country operating in the mine Nigeria. Because whether you like it or not, even the minister himself, Alake, had alluded to the fact that, I mean, this was him in front of legislators, that, look, there are powerful Nigerians behind illegal mining. The question is, don't security agencies know these powerful Nigerians? Doesn't the government know these powerful Nigerians? Why do we have to be talking about them? I mean, that's not a piece of news story or a new piece of story that Nigerians are not aware of. It's just a question of at what point are we going to find the intelligence, the courage, all right, to run circles around these illegal miners and their so-called powerful Nigerians who are throwing their weight behind them the whole time. And then we're going to stretch it beyond our border a little and also take a look at what's happening with the pullouts, as it were, of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic from the Economic Community of West African States, that is ECOWAS. I recall that this has been a long time coming. We've seen 3 coups across these 3 countries, particularly the ones that started with Mali and Burkina Faso. And then for whatever reason, Niger Republic decided to join them on the 26th of July last year. So it's been 6 months and counting, all right, since you had the military guys in power in Niger Republic. And once that coup took place, the first thing that ECOWAS did under the leadership of Nigerian President, speaking of Bola Tinubu, was to say, look, 2 things must happen going forward, and that has to happen as quickly as possible. You must release the ousted President, Mohamed Bazoum, unconditionally. Yes, that's the operative word, unconditionally. The second thing that must happen is you've got to reinstate him. However, you and I know as of today, I mean, 6 months and counting, none of those have happened just yet. In fact, these 3 countries have now pulled out of ECOWAS. Questions abound. What are the implications? All right, some people have said, look, ECOWAS as a regional bloc must, as a matter of urgency, take steps to secure the region, I mean the sub-region, because with the pullout of these 3 countries, there's going to be so much of border, if you like, porous borders. You're going to have, of course, that's preponderance of border exposure. Then you are going to have vulnerability with regards to security architecture. Recall that these countries have, over time, collaborated. All right, they've had to form some sort of synergy amongst themselves just to be able to ward off Boko Haram in particular. Now, with the crisis that has ensued on account of the coups that have happened, taking place in these 3 countries, and now add to that the exits of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic from ECOWAS, what exactly are the implications? We want to have that conversation today. But before that, let's talk about food for a second. We understand that taste and texture is ready for us.
Hello and welcome to Taste and Texture. I'm Fatimi Abulmar. These waffle bacon are perfect for those lazy weekend mornings when you have time to wake up late and still have time to cook breakfast. They are deliciously irresistible. Now the ingredients needed are cooking spray, 8 slices of bacon, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, 3 cups of flour, half cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 4 eggs, 2.5 cup of buttermilk, half to third cup of vegetable oil, half teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now let's make it. Preheat oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Spray a baking sheet with cooking spray. Arrange bacon on the prepared baking sheet and sprinkle with 2 teaspoons brown sugar. Bake in the preheat oven until bacon is crispy and brown sugar is caramelized. Immediately remove bacon to a cotton board. Cut into pieces and set aside. Preheat a waffle iron. Whisk flour, half cup of brown sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and salt together in a large bowl. Beat eggs, buttermilk, vegetable oil, and vanilla together in a separate bowl. Fold wet mixture into flour mixture. Add bacon and stir, being carefully. Spray the preheat waffle iron with cooking spray. Ladle batter into waffle iron and cook until golden brown. Serve hot and enjoy your delicious bacon. And now to the health benefits. Bacon has good amount of protein that is useful in maintaining energy levels. It is especially ideal for those in a high protein and low carbohydrate diet such as athletes and bodybuilders. One of the best things about eating bacon is that it effectively elevates the mood and can make you happy, blissful and satisfied. A bite of a good bacon sandwich can reduce stress and relieve frustration and dissolve negative vibes. Too much bacon, however, can lead to the opposite and result in guilt, feelings, and depression. The nutrients choline, an essential omega fatty acid found in bacon, helps increase memory and intelligence. These nutrients may help fight off debilitating chronic mental impairments such as Alzheimer's disease. Bacon also contains a wide array of essential vitamins and minerals such as thiamine, vitamin B1, riboflavin, vitamin B2, niacin, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, iron, and panthenate. Bacon has a high protein to fat balance of 4:1, which is the highest found in any meat. See you same time next time for another interesting, sumptuous episode of our Text and Texture. I remain your host, Fatimi Abu Umar. Bye.
Thank you, Fatime, for that interesting piece there. Queen and I were just talking about breakfast ideas, and she was also kind of about how this could be some sort of pancake of a different variant and blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'll take out time to explore and see what options there are for me. Queen, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
It's a delight as well to have you.
Great.
I look forward to Global Morning.
Every other weekday, right?
Every other.
Whether there's bacon or not.
Whether there's bacon or not.
Right. So I was just talking at the top of the program a while ago about insecurity, particularly as it has to do with illegal mining. Of course, you and I followed the story of the explosion, as it were, in Ibadan the other day. And we see how many lives we've lost there, seeing how many houses and other valuables. We've seen how it has rocked that city, and how, again, it is one more reminder of how that we have so much of work to do with regards to fighting off insecurity in this country, right? And then you go up to the north, particularly the northwest states like Zamfara, for example. A lot of mining happens there, and we see how we're not even told that there are powerful Nigerians behind illegal mining, and they are the ones actually fueling and stoking this fire of insecurity. I know you live in the FCT like most of us, but then you also don't essentially feel insulated from all these threats of insecurity, do you?
Exactly. We in the FCT are not left out from all of the threats. But one thing we must understand is that truly, this illegal mining has given rise to insecurity in the country, because we see that, for instance, wherever there is something legal, something genuine, there's also
a tendency,
counterfeit
right,
for
to have a counterfeit of
a
it.
counterfeit. And what happens when there's a counterfeit for something? If I have somebody who is possibly an imposter trying to pose as me, I'm now giving an instance, the person will do everything possible to make sure that what I do is in futility,
Right.
just so that maybe that person can be seen as
Being the authentic.
or being the authentic. And so there's rivalry between what is genuine and what is counterfeit. So I think now this illegal mining has, brought about sabotage of what is supposed to be ideal, what's supposed to be real. So you see that while regulations and while everything is working, while the real miners are working hard, those that are legal, are working hard and trying to abide by what is right. We have those who, under the canopy of illegal, are doing the exact opposite. So you'd have that conflict and then insecurity. And now, when this, because we see also that the people that work for these illegal miners are not on the salaries. So they work, and I think they are being paid off based on whatever comes out.
Yeah, the amount of inputs they're able to make.
Yes, the amount of inputs they're able to make. And these people, because of how hard, there's nothing regulating these illegal miners. Because of how hard they work, you see that they have to be on narcotics, they have to be on drugs, and you know what happens?
So substance abuse is common amongst them.
And then when you have places where substance abuse is common, crime is inevitable.
Right.
Crime and all forms of mishappenings are inevitable. And so now we can even talk about, now let's go to the area of regulations, where we talk about who oversees. Like for the Bodija explosion in Ibadan, we see that these things are done, the illegal miners are mining in residential areas. So they're stacking up explosives in these places. And it's not supposed to be so, because by standards, you're not supposed to have people, mining or stacking up explosives near human contact. And so nobody, because now we all have a part to play. We have a part to play as citizens. That's why we say, know your surroundings.
Right.
When you see something, you say something. Now, away from the area of who inspects this, obviously, if I am doing something, but we cannot deny the fact that when these people are working, they're working with the aim of hiding, not being in the known. Like I always say that whoever is out to deceit would always try to outsmart whoever it is they're trying to deceive. So they're going to go undercover, and all of that. But we, as the people that happen to live in this, now this is where I think I wouldn't say some sort of greed comes in.
Right.
I would say that okay, maybe it's a kind of greed, but to the detriment of you. For example, these people might just be giving these people around them, money, because maybe they would even be helping them, stack up explosives and all that, just helping them in some sort of way.
Right.
And then unknown to them, the dangers, because if anything happens, it's not going to affect those people mining alone, but would affect the entire community. And now it would have taken some sort of, for people to just get up and say that, oh, this is what is happening in our vicinity, and it's not ideal. Now this is where sensitization comes in as well. How many people are aware of the dangers of, all of these actions in residential areas?
Of course, there's a minister who, because you were asking who oversees all of these operations, mining operations in the country. There's Ministry of Solid Minerals. Incidentally, like every other ministry, this ministry has got a minister in the person of Dr. Dele Henry Alake, right? We've heard him, we've seen him, we've followed him as he speaks about the developments in the mining sector. He talks about even events and incidences that predated his coming into office, and some things that the ministry under his leadership has had to do in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of months, and so on and so forth. Some people say, well, these are political rhetorics, because ultimately what has changed in ways that are tangible, in ways that are significantly remarkable, and stuff like that. But we understand the ministry under his leadership is now also playing, for want of better words, with the idea of introducing mining police, different from the conventional Nigeria police. the ultimate goal is to ensure that we have people who are trained specially to man the mining sector. For example, we've seen how much of very commendable work the NSCDC, that's the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, has been able to do in the last few years with regards to pipeline vandalism, oil bunkering, and all those issues around crude theft, blah, 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 blah. So all of those are in the works from what we understand. But it was this same minister himself that came out and told federal legislators that, look, there are powerful Nigerians behind illegal mining and all of the criminality that comes with it. I was just asking a while ago as we opened the program this morning, does it mean the authorities, I mean, in this case, the Nigerian government, for example, do not know who these powerful Nigerians are? Are they under, off the radar? Are they abstracts? Can we not find them? Can we not investigate them? Have we not had enough time to do due diligence, background checks on them, and bring them to book? Are we just going to continue to have the conversations around there are people who are behind it, they are powerful Nigerians, they are very influential Nigerians, and then the next thing you hear is there's a cabal behind it? I'm sure, long and short of the story, that there's need for us to be more proactive and decisive about the actions we take in this regard.
Exactly. As regards powerful Nigerians being,
behind it,
we've been having constant cases of illegal mining for quite a while now.
That's right.
And then you can't say. I would agree that powerful Nigerians are. I would agree with that theory that are indeed behind it, because why haven't we come to the point where we now begin to, the Bodija incident, we hear that these illegal miners are not even Nigerians. So why can't appropriate sanctions be given and taken as regard? And it will interest you to know that it could be a cabal. It could be people feeding off this, Nigeria is very rich, very vast, mineral resources, like we see in the case of Bodija incidents just opened up, a bit to what is happening in the mining sector in Ibadan. How about Zamfara? How about Nasarawa? How about Enugu? These states that are rich in, mineral resources and the rest. What is happening there? What measures are being taken to ensure that this illegal mining is brought to a halt? Because of a truth, this is what is fueling insecurity in the country. It's exactly the tussle for this. The
desperation to want to have control by the powerful Nigerians.
By the powerful Nigerians.
Yes, another issue we're looking at this morning on the show, Queen. By the way, we have a gentleman who will be coming to help us expand this conversation around illegal mining, the economic implications, issues of security around it, because he's a pundit when it comes to mining and all of those issues around solid minerals overall. Then there's also the issue of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic now pulling out of the economic community of West African states, talking about ECOWAS. And for many people, it is now salt being added to injury. What I mean by that in context is that the coups that have happened in these three countries have done so much of damage already to the fabrics of the sub-region, whether it's political or economic. And now these three countries have unanimously agreed that it is their sovereign decision to leave ECOWAS. I'm sure you have also been following these developments somehow, at least as a West African, so to speak, right?
Yes, we've been following this development, and truly, now that these people have, formed an alliance and
all three of them,
all three of them, to leave the ECOWAS, is a subject worth talking about, and then talking about the implications, especially for countries that are affiliated with some sort,
ECOWAS,
with the ECOWAS. So Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. What this means, what the implications, while we're still waiting for the ECOWAS to,
to maybe take some decisive steps.
Decisive step. I just hope that this doesn't bring about, more cases of the jihadists and then insurgency.
Right. There are more coups and violent takeover of governments across the sub-region, right?
Yes.
Because there's now also the palpable fear that if we're not careful, if we don't tame this early enough, it could spread beyond even this region, all the way into maybe Ghana,
yes,
and so on and so forth. And we hope this turns out well for not just the sub-region, but for the continent altogether. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, it will be time for the Global AM News. In the meantime, here's a roundup of business by Kikelemo Okere.
Hello and welcome to Business Report on Global Morning. Nigerian broad money supply increased to 78.74 trillion naira as of December 2023, the highest ever recorded in the country. This is an increase of 26.58 trillion naira or 51% year on year when compared to 52.16 trillion naira recorded in 2022. This is according to the latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria as contained in its money and credit statistics. The broad money supply, which is used to measure liquidity in the economy, has been on the upward trajectory in recent years and at a rapid pace. The Central Bank of Nigeria as contained in its money and credit statistics. The broad money supply, which is used to measure liquidity in the economy, has been on the upward trajectory in recent years and at a rapid pace. It comprises net foreign assets and net domestic assets. This increase in the money supply signals a probable escalation in inflation, which could erode Nigerian purchasing power. Furthermore, an inflated money supply often correlates with diminished interest rates, especially in scenarios marked by a scarcity of viable investment opportunities. The Central Bank of Nigeria has warned authorized dealers to ensure that transactions in the forex market are conducted transparently, and any form of price distortion leading to market manipulation will face sanction. The Apex Bank disclosed this in a statement by Director of Financial Markets Department Aliu Ashiru. He noted that investigations have revealed cases of underreporting of transaction rates and fixed income transactions. According to the statement, the Apex banks allow financial market transactions to conduct on a willing buyer and willing seller basis. Nigeria's total pension assets gained 3.36 trillion naira in 2023, closing the year at a record high of 18.38 trillion naira from 14.99 trillion naira recorded as of the previous year. This represents a year-on-year increase of 22.43%, which is the fastest growth on record. This is according to the unaudited report on pension fund portfolio as released by the National Pension Commission (PENCOM). Also, the total number of RSA registered hit 10.19 million as of the end of December 2023, reflecting a 3.3% increase from 9.86 million recorded as of end of 2022. A total of 1.67 trillion naira was invested in the money market instrument as of end of the year, accounting for 9.1% of the total pension asset. In terms of breakdown by fund category, Fund 2 continued to dominate with a total asset value of 7.8 trillion naira, accounting for 42.5% of the fund. Kikelemo Okere, Global Television News.